Uh, Coming now, come on. Time's up. Time's up.
Hello, everybody, and thank you guys for joining us again today. My name is Victor Verba, and I am here with my good friend, Mr. Jeffrey Young. Jeff, how's it going today?
Good, man, hanging in there, trying to stay warm. Woke up this morning, it was about 8 degrees outside, so trying to get through this winter stuff. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I feel your pain. I definitely feel your pain. I actually, on that note, speaking of the weather, so I actually did a little bit of traveling last week. I got to go out and visit one of our partners. It was a great event, but it's the first time I traveled in a long time.
Yeah.
Since kind of this like whole COVID thing went down. I mean, it's been like 2 years since I got to go anywhere. But it was a great event. But I ended up out in Maryland. Never been to Maryland before. I kind of expected the weather to be a lot like my weather, like I'm from Chicago. I was like, Maryland, okay, it's still cold out there.
Yeah.
And I got out there, it was like 40 degrees and raining. I was like, oh, I'll take this any single day. Because then when I got home in the morning, it was 7.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, I'm jealous. I didn't get to make that trip. But I had a similar one when we had our little planning meeting when we got together in California. That was the first time I've been to an airport in right about 2 years. And well, I mean, not too much had changed, right? It's still an airport and you still got to jump through all the hoops. But yeah, little different experience getting to travel again. And I know it was a good time out there in Maryland with one of our channel partners. I think they had an extremely successful year, so they know who they are. Congratulations to them. But that kind of brings me into something we've been kicking around talking about kind of in the background is getting back into some of the tech conferences, and I have to say that I am excited to get back out and do some tech conferences. Obviously, our big one, Cisco Live, coming up in June. We Verify always has a booth there set up, and we usually bring all the troops. And I'm really excited to get that rolling this year.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I am definitely looking forward to that. And as you said, airports are still airports.
Yep.
It's borderline eerie. It was when I originally booked my tickets for this event, like it was literally like there's like 2 seats left on the airplane. I was like, oh sweet, a lot of people traveling. I got on the airplane and it was only half full.
Wow.
Which for me is even better because that means every middle seat was open, and I was like, score, like easy trip there, and it was the same way back. But yeah, looking forward to traveling a little bit more, getting back to see some of our partners, some of our customers, some of our clients and things like that. That's one of the things in our business, and in our company is kind of getting that FaceTime and being able to actually speak with people. So looking forward to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You can never go wrong in Sin City.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to it.
Yeah, on the way back, again flying from California to St. Louis, I've got kind of three. I guess there's three main layovers, right? It would be Phoenix, Las Vegas, Denver, Salt Lake City, sometimes in there, and I did fly through Vegas and I did pump some money into the airport slot machine. So I was that degenerate guy that was losing money at the airport in Las Vegas because it was there, right? So yeah, no, I'm excited. I've been to Cisco Live 6 or 7 times. San Francisco, Vegas, Orlando, San Diego. But I haven't been there on the vendor side, right, to actually work. It was more of when I was on the partner side, we would go out and of course, do all the breakout sessions, take some certifications, entertain our customers, see our vendors. But this will be the first time I'm going as a vendor. So I'm kind of excited about that. I know that have you been 2 or 3 times?
I've been, yeah, give or take, probably, it's probably been about 4 times or so, give or take, that I've been there. I love it, man. Any opportunity I get to go, and see some of the people that we work with, meet new people, introduce them, to one product, but to just see some of those guys that you talk to every day on the phone,
Yep.
and whether you're seeing them over a WebEx and you see their picture, it's just different being there live.
Yep.
I've always been more on the vendor side. So for me, it's always, just getting that booth time, getting that face time, being able to hang out with people after the show. Those are the things that I totally look forward to. And, I'm excited about it. It is, like I said, it's still one of those weird kind of experiences flying because, we're not quite back in the groove where everybody's doing it.
Sure.
But you know what? The event over the last week was absolutely fantastic. And, I love doing it, love being there, every part of it, man.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see. I think so. The last time, so it was 2019, big 15 year for Verify. I was at that party. Blues also won the Stanley Cup that year in San Diego. So for Game 7, we rented kind of ad hoc rented the lobby bar of the hotel that we were staying at. Invited a bunch of customers and partners and, had them slap together some catering stuff, watched Game 7 and then walked over to the baseball stadium there in San Diego and saw Weezer and the Foo Fighters. So I'm probably one of a few people that had a NHL Stanley Cup Game 7, the team that I was rooting for win, and then got to go to a Weezer and Foo Fighters concert immediately thereafter. But it was a good time. And San Diego's obviously very nice, but I don't know. I like gambling, so Vegas might be a little bit more fun.
It's funny that you mentioned that concert because I kid you not, I was talking to a customer this week. And they had actually mentioned that they had said something about the Foo Fighters and I was just like Cisco Live and they're like, yeah, dude, they're like, that's where I saw them. And I was just like, oh, right on. So it was small world,
Again, I haven't been every year, and I know that there's a lot of history in the Cisco Live right back into the networkers days, and even when it was split between areas and that kind of thing. But yeah, I've seen some pretty good concerts at Cisco Live. Aerosmith, Bruno Mars was pretty good. Maroon 5 was actually really good. Foo Fighters and Weezer were fantastic. Yeah, it's just getting there, but I'm kind of interested to see what attendance will look like. At these kinds of things. Some of the other organizations, I think Microsoft and possibly, I know Amazon, I think had theirs this year.
Yep.
And I'm kind of interested to see because, I think Cisco's numbers are usually, 25,000-ish people attending Cisco Live. I think it'll be pretty interesting to see what that turnout is just from people not wanting to travel or businesses not allowing people to go. I think it'll be interesting. But, hopefully it's done safely and, people can get out there and I know we all talk new normal and I'm kind of tired of hearing that term, but, try to get back to some of the things that we were doing prior to all this craziness.
Yeah, you totally hit the nail on the head there, man. Because that is the big kind of question is how large are these events actually going to scale up to once they do start going on? And Cisco Live being one of the largest ones, and I'll be honest, I'm not even sure because I know they do a couple overseas, Australia, and then one in Europe. So I haven't even seen much information about those. But I will say I would love to go to the Australian one, just because I've always wanted to go to Australia. So I'm just going to throw that out there.
I've tried to angle for the one in Cancun. There's one at one of the Palace resorts there. I think it's Moon Palace in Cancun. I tried at my previous job to angle away into that, and that was a no-go. Amsterdam was always off the table. No, we're not going to Amsterdam for Cisco Live. But Mexico's not. It's a 4-hour plane ride from here. I might as well go, right?
It's not bad. I mean, you get, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it will. But back to your original point, it will. It'll be interesting to see kind of what the turnouts are. Either way, I'm totally looking forward to getting in front of folks. So one of the things that you guys can do out there, hit us up on Planet Verify. Let us know if you guys are going to Cisco Live. We'd love to hear from you. We're planning on being there if it's still taking place. So we'd love to hear from you guys. You guys are our customer base. You guys are the people that we know and we want to see. So, let us know if you guys are going to be hanging out there. We'd love to see you. And definitely, as we get closer to those dates and those release dates and everything like that, we'll talk a little bit more about it. But definitely let us know on Planet if you guys plan on attending Cisco Live or thinking about it.
Yeah, and I think I think not even capping it at Cisco Live, right? There's a lot of conferences floating around out there from, Microsoft's, and again, I think Amazon's had theirs already. But even some of the overall collaboration conferences, right? So I think it'd be interesting to hear where people are planning to go. There's been a number of conferences again that I've attended that are outside of the collaboration space, and they're all good to go to. They're all good to attend. Lots of information, lots of vendor related stuff. But on top of Cisco Live, if people are not attending Cisco Live, which ones are you attending? I think would be pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, and I know with Microsoft's, we're talking about maybe having a couple people floating around out there. I don't think we're going to be doing any kind of booth, but as we kind of start to delve into different phone systems over here at Verify, we are talking about having some folks. So maybe we'll do a little Where's Waldo and see if you can spot the Verify representative floating around over at the Microsoft show.
They'll have the alien head on. Is that
they might. We'll have to see what we can put together for that, man.
Yeah, I don't know if you and I
like
have
where
a
we're
say
going
in
with
that.
this. I just know it's not me going, so it's going to be interesting to see what we can make somebody else wear.
Yeah. We'll just maybe they have to have those things like they clip on like your shoulder. It kind of looks like a little stuffed animal bird thing.
Yep,
sitting on your
and you
shoulder.
can kind of move its head around and stuff like that.
That'd be great. Like, who are these?
I was thinking more of making somebody wear those green stretch suits and just kind of like streak the show and let us know if you guys see them. We'll figure out what we can make somebody to do to keep it interesting.
Green stretch suit with a big V on it, right on the chest. Yeah, I mean, hey, look, publicity. I don't know. It works for me. I mean, I'll do it, but I don't like to run, so it'll probably be a brisk walk, maybe power walking, like Olympic power walking.
There you go, man. There you go.
Yeah. So, hey, this is completely weird and off topic, but mention the stuffed animal thing. I did find.
Nice, dude. You got it. Was it in the giveaway box?
No, it was over across the room. So there's like my daughter's got this pinup board here with some hockey stuff on it, and there's also one on the other side. And like last time after we got done, I got up and started to walk away from the computer and went, the thing's 10 feet from my head. I didn't even see it over there. So I had to grab it today to mention. So we can make sure to get back on track. The Fuzzy Bunny keychain thing is still here. So
I thought about asking about it, but I was like, if she gave it away, like I'm not gonna bug him over the Fuzzy Bunny. But nice. I'll expect that back on the wall, so I'm less distracted.
I'll just move it. Look, man, my 12-year-old daughter's gonna yell at me if I move anything in this room, but maybe I'll just move it. I'll move it every time we podcast, and then I'll move it away.
There you go.
We're done. So, yeah. All right. Hey, let's talk about football.
Man, dude, those are some games this weekend, buddy.
Yeah, I watched football. Been a big fan for a number of years, and I think this weekend was probably the best football I've ever seen. Those games on, I guess, the two on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing games. But I think so. We did some picks. Week one, Vic went 6-0. I went with my heart instead of maybe what my gut was telling me. I went 4-2. However, I am happy to report that after my Dallas Cowboys were eliminated, I went 3-1 last weekend. and Vic went 1-3. So for
It's
those
not a good
keeping-
week for me, man. It was not a good week for me, dude. I got annihilated last week.
Yeah. So for those keeping track, which I am down by 1. So we've got obviously championship weekend, NFC, AFC championship games this weekend. We have, let's see, Cincinnati at Kansas City.
We
And
do.
we have-
Yes. Yep.
It's the other San Francisco at LA.
Yep.
That's it.
At LA.
Yep. So
All right, what are we getting into?
I don't feel like
first,
I wanna pick
let's
first.
recap last week a little bit, dude.
okay, yep.
All right, let's
Probably do
recap
that.
just a little bit.
I didn't know if it was sensitive.
I'm not kidding, man. You're absolutely right. Those were some of the best football games I've seen in a very long time. The Super Bowl has got some very large shoes to fill based off of last week's game, man. They really do. The Cincinnati game was excellent. I did not expect the Packers to get knocked out.
I did not.
I really didn't. I really thought they were going to kind of run through most of this. Being a Chicago fan, I have to say I'm a little glad they got knocked out. And we've got some San Francisco people here. Hey, go 49ers. But those were excellent games. The Tampa game again, like I said, didn't really see that coming. Although you called that one right on, you got the nail on the head on that one, man. But that was another intense game, man.
Yeah. Oh, and I got grief for that internally. As soon as obviously we know we have some internal Tampa fans, and
Yep.
I that pick went out for them to lose to LA, and I believe the first response was, Jeff, you're such a hater. And I went, look, I'm going with my gut this time and not my heart. And I have to take LA. And as I explained to those Tampa fans, hey, look, it pains me to pick LA just because, again, I'm from St. Louis, and yeah, there's that. So, it should be interesting, but the Buffalo Kansas City game.
Wow.
Was,
wow. Yes.
I sat there and I was watching it, and I was gonna go grab a drink or get some food, and I'm like, I can't step away from the game because if I pause it, right, my phone, I'm gonna get 37 alerts on what's going on in the game. So I'm just sitting there, and it's touchdown, field goal. I think they said in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game there was 25 points scored or something like that. I vaguely remember the announcer saying something along those lines, and I'm looking at the score and I'm going, they scored that many points like the whole game. It was insane. Again, 4 hours from Kansas City. I'm surprised I didn't hear the fans in Kansas City. I believe that's still the loudest stadium over the Seahawks in the NFL. But yeah, what insanity. And I know I have a lot of friends that became Kansas City fans after stuff in St. Louis and that kind of thing. So, I thought that Buffalo was going to win. I thought it was going to be a high-scoring game. I thought Buffalo's defense would be a little bit better. But, probably the best football game I've ever seen. It was amazing.
Dude, I couldn't agree with you more, man. It was ridiculous, dude. Like, it was literally the edge of your seat that entire game, just because it was so back and forth, and then. But you're right, that last 2 minutes, man, was insane. Like how those guys were tromping down the field. But I tell you what, the one thing that I got to say, and I know I was one of those people that was messaging back and forth. God, I hate the overtime rule. I really think everybody should have the opportunity, regardless of whether it's a touchdown or field goal on the first play, to get that ball back. I am one of the believers that say they should play at least a full 10 minutes and give everybody the opportunity. That's the one thing, and we'll see. When or if that ever changes. It's been like that, and this is the same old story. This is not the first time you saw a big game get lost in overtime because of the first touchdown or even field goal at some point in time. But and that was the one thing that irked me because I could have watched that, man. I could have watched that for another 10 minutes. Those guys go back and forth like that. It was intense.
Yeah, so I agree. I think each team should possess the ball in overtime. It just doesn't make sense to me that a touchdown ends the game and the other team doesn't even get a chance, right? And I've seen that, right? 10 minutes. I've seen, play another quarter kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah, it's just an amazing game to watch. I saw something on the internet that said what did it say? The Super Bowl has been canceled and the Chiefs and Bills are going to play a best of 7 or something like that. And I'm like, well, that's okay. I mean, I don't really have a vested interest in any of the other teams. And I mean, that was a good game, so why not?
Yeah, dude, I would watch that again.
Yeah, I have a feeling if they're going to up the season to 25 games on somebody, some people are going to get some pay adjustments. So, yeah, man.
But yeah, so I had to recap a little bit, dude, because like you said, and like I totally agree, it was an extremely intense weekend for football, man. All of those games were down to the nail. I mean, just winning by field goals. I mean, none of them were blowouts. There was a lot of hard-fought games for all those teams. But, yeah, man, excellent season, excellent week, and looking forward to the next couple of games we got going on over here.
Yeah. I'm not excited for the season to be over. However, I will say now that the team that I root for is out of the playoffs, my playoff watching is a little less stressful now. Now I can enjoy the game. Does that make sense? I'm not sitting there yelling.
It does. It absolutely makes sense. So luckily, I've never had to worry about that stress, or it's been a long time since I've had to worry about playoff stress. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but someday, Jeff, I would like to take that stress on.
Yeah,
yeah.
I get it. It's been a challenging bit of time for Chicago fans. I'm sorry. So, all right, man. How you want to pick these picks? You want to go first since you're in the lead, or do I have to go first?
This is going to be an interesting one.
I'm just going to pick.
I don't know that we're going to differ. We might differ on one game, considering there's only 2. I'll go ahead. I have no problem going first. Or if you want to go first, makes no difference to me.
No, you go first. I got to figure out how I'm going to make up one.
Okay, so I am. I'm going Kansas City. Over Cincinnati. I'm sorry to some of our Cincinnati fans out here. I'm sorry to Cincinnati as a whole, man. Those guys have fought hard to get where they are. They've got a really good team right now going into these playoffs. But looking at that game last week, seeing how Kansas City's offense has played, and Cincinnati's got a great defense coming into this. But man, Buffalo's had the number 1 defense coming in here, and they could barely stop those scores. So I think Cincinnati's got their work cut out for them. So I'm sorry, I'm going to have to take Kansas City over Cincinnati. The next game is challenging. San Fran or LA. This is an interesting one because I didn't expect San Fran to be here. So I don't know that I was anticipating this. LA played an awesome game. San Fran played an awesome game. It was tight. The defense held up strong. Weather conditions were considerably different at that game. And I think that really bode to San Francisco's ability to kind of hold Green Bay to where they're at. I mean, it had to be kept on the ground in those weather conditions. It's not going to be the case here. But I'm going to go San Fran. I'm actually going to go a little bit of an upset here. I think I don't even know who's picked to win, but I think it's LA. But I'm going to go ahead and take San Fran. So
all right. I will not give the overview because Vic, you have recapped kind of where those teams where they came from and how they got there, and I wholeheartedly agree. Again, I really thought Buffalo was going to take out Kansas City, and I do apologize to one of my good friends here who is a Cincinnati fan, but I'm going to have to take Kansas City. I think we're going to see Cincinnati right back here next year with Chase and Burrow, and but I don't think they have it to beat Kansas City. Kansas City's got too many weapons. Next game, I was actually, before you picked San Francisco, I was still going to take LA.
Okay.
I just don't see San Francisco beating them. I know that they beat them twice this year. I just don't see it happening a third time. So I am going with Kansas City and LA.
All right.
And
we've got a tiebreaker.
Yeah. As a St. Louis guy, I'll refer to that as the I-70 series. That's what we call when the Royals and the Cardinals play. It's the I-70 series. So, again, holding on to the Rams here being in St. Louis. Hopelessly holding on to the Rams memories here in St. Louis. So, yes, I am going with Kansas City and LA this weekend.
All right. Awesome, man. There's our tiebreaker right there. Actually, that'll bring us to a tie, depending on how that goes. Or, depending on how we walk out of this, we could have one clear winner for the rest of the season.
We could. Hey, if it's if it's Cincinnati and where do we have? Cincinnati and San Francisco in the Super Bowl, or Cincinnati and LA, I'm good with that too.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So we will get that stuff posted out there, posted out on Planet. Just regarding the conference related stuff, we'll get some of this football stuff up there, have a little fun with that. So everybody go ahead and respond to those posts and those polls out on Planet, and we will talk to everybody soon. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Time's up.
Let me get my voice on.
All right. Okay. Cool. I gotta think for a second. What was I supposed to say?
That was weird. You were just like looking deep into my eyes. Jim's gonna be like, "Why didn't Jeff make eye contact the whole time?" Because we just had a weird moment there.
All right.